can peacefully have an affair and not feel anything about it? Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. I've been counseling men and women for many years who have experienced abuse, as well as those who have been perpetrators of abuse. I wanted to respond to this video. I was tagged in it. This woman asked, how do men cheat on their wives? How do they spoil their wives and treat them like a queen and still manage to cheat on them? This can be interpreted a number of ways. This video can be interpreted a number of ways. The first way that it can be interpreted is that your partner, this man that you are married to, can give you gifts and spoil you, all the while having an affair behind your back. And a lot of times this happens because there are things that men who get with certain women know that they will not get from those certain women. So the man that you're married to may feel like he can have a certain type of relationship with you. He can dote on you. He could be loving towards you, but maybe you guys don't actually have a really strong emotional connection, meaning you guys don't talk about things, or he doesn't tell you certain things. He just sort of dotes on you. What he will do is he will have an affair with someone else and sort of tell her all of his problems, tell her about all of the negative things that are going on in your relationship. And that helps to, that emotional dumping, that emotional labor. And by the way, it's not just other women they will do this to. They will do this with another man. So if a man is emotionally dumping on another woman or another man or anybody else, and then they go back home to their wives and all is well, that person that they are sort of dumping to is sort of like a buffer that allows them to show up as sweet and charming with you. It's like, oh, I go get my emotional and maybe even some sexual needs met there, and then I can come back here and dote on you. And that's one of the reasons why I tell people I don't allow emotional dumping in my relationships, friendships or otherwise. Don't do it. Don't be anybody's therapist. Allow people to, find their own therapy and do the work there, because unfortunately, people will use other people as a buffer to stay in a relationship that they're not really happy or fulfilled in, and sort of give other people empty promises and lead them astray, but really they're just using them as like their cuddly Care Bear. The second way that I interpreted this is, okay, this woman may, be sure and go back and watch her post. This isn't meant to be disrespectful towards that other creator, but this woman is not noticing the red flags, which indicates that your man isn't being faithful. So there's a lot of women and people in general who will delude themselves while they're in a marriage, and it's like, okay, well, we're in love, and so any sort of red flags that will pop up, or any sort of red flags or alarm bells that go off, they're willing to overlook it because the person that they're with, they feel like, oh, I'm so in love with that person, or they have so many other good qualities that surely it is not true that my partner is cheating on me. So I refuse to believe that. I'm not going to even pay that any attention because I'm so focused on marriage and I'm so focused on this relationship that I don't want to hear any bad news, or I don't even want to consider any bad news. It's one of the reasons why I tell people you want to be careful if you have a friend that's being cheated on or something like that, because if you go and tell your friend, hey, I think I saw your husband at the Plaza Hotel with so-and-so, they're going to get more mad at you and more than likely in the friendship with you than to actually want to investigate whether or not their spouse is cheating on them. Sometimes when people are centered so much on their relationship, they're not willing to entertain the idea that, hey, your partner could betray you. And it's just, it is what it is, that they would betray you in such a way and come right back home and get on in that bed and crawl back in and act like nothing's happened and get back up on Tuesday and do it all over again. It happens all the time, right? And we see it on the apps, we see it out in public where, married men are out and about. And, just a little side story. I was up getting my passport renewed, and I was in line, and this man who was talking to me, and he's like, oh, we can go on a trip together, girl. I'm glad we're in this line, getting our pictures done. Like, let's exchange numbers. And I'm like, whoa, are you married? He's like, yeah, but what has that got to do with anything? And there is sort of this cavalier attitude, about people, a lot of times when they're married, and you could tell this isn't his first rodeo, and he's sweet and charming and all this other kind of stuff, and he's expecting me to breeze over it like he's breezing over it, and this happens all the time. And, I'm sure it probably happens to where women aren't even asking him that because he's so smooth, he's so flirty, he's so this and that, the other. And I'm like, you need to go on back home, but that happens. And, there's sometimes when people want to believe something so much, or they're so invested in a particular story or fairy tale that they're willing to overlook the rest. And thirdly, the way that I interpreted this video is like, how can someone do this to me? How can they be getting everything at home and then be doing this to me? And, for anybody who's been watching me for a while, I've talked a lot about, I've talked about the serial cheater, right? So I did a separate post on that. And I've also talked about how men like attention, and it's funny, I see this happen all the time in particular settings that I go into, and when I used to work all the time. It does not matter if that man is married. It does not matter if he's got 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 children at home, and all the things are happening. It doesn't even matter sometimes if his wife works at the same place. If he's getting that attention and someone is telling him that he's sexy, he is going to fold, and this is not all men, but a lot of men I've observed with this type of behavior is because I like to feel like I can still get it, right? And there are some men who will take it, just as far enough to see, like, let's see how far this can go, right? Because I'm not sure if we're gonna, get as far as I want to go, but if we can take it there, I'll take it there. And so I think a lot of it is just about, like, just feeling sexy and feeling alive and getting that external validation from people, from women and other men and trans and everybody else, right? Like, people just love that attention and that validation, and they can never get enough of it. It is like a drug. It is definitely a dopamine hit. But as long as they can get it, they're going to take as much of it as they can get. The woman doesn't even have to be attractive. Man doesn't even have to be attractive, but they just want that. They want to feel like they can get it and that they are someone's dream. And unfortunately, if you have a partner that chases external validation, look out, because you might be in for some serious heartbreak there. Hope that helps. Thanks so much.